Good evening. So great to have you here. I'm Laura Painter.
And I'm Chris Thomas. We do thank you for joining us on the ABC10 app. Tonight, Sacramento leaders and a loving family is calling for the return of a Natomas mother and DACA recipient. She was deported to Mexico exactly 1 week ago, and she spoke out right here on ABC10 yesterday.
Now, city officials are publicly standing behind her, calling her deportation a broken promise by the federal government to immigrants who follow the law. ABC 10's Roxanne Elias joins us in studio with the latest. Roxanne, tell us what you've learned.
Laura and Chris, support for Maria de Jesus Estrada is now only growing louder. Sacramento City leaders stood outside the federal building demanding answers and calling for her return, saying her case sends a chilling message to DACA recipients who believed they were following the law.
To demand the return of Maria to her home here in Sacramento.
At the John Moss Federal Building, local elected officials stood in support of Maria de Jesus Estrada Juarez, a Natomas mother who has lived in the U.S. for decades.
She came here in good faith, and it is the federal government that broke the promise.
The 42-year-old DACA recipient was deported last Wednesday as she attended an appointment in the process of becoming a lawful permanent resident.
And it was terrible, just knowing I had seen my aunt on Tuesday, and now knowing that I may not ever see her again was just terrible, terrible.
Jeanette Gallegos is the niece of Estrada Juarez. She says her aunt was wrongfully deported and is now in Puebla, Mexico, although they were confident she was going to return home.
She did, what feels to everyone right, paid her taxes, was a hardworking mother, was a DACA recipient. She went to school like I did and how others and you all have done.
What has happened to Maria?
Sacramento Vice Mayor Karina Talamantes also says the mother works for a hotel that is under contract with the city of Sacramento to provide services to homeless people. And she says Estrada Juarez has no criminal background and has done everything by the book.
People are scared to speak up, but we do need people to continue coming forward so that we have evidence of it happening, so that Assemblywoman Krell and Senator Padilla and Senator Schiff can use these as examples of what's wrong in our country.
Talamantes says she knows of at least 3 other DACA recipients who have also been deported. She added that it's hard to keep up with the numbers because not everyone speaks up.
It's incredibly fear and anxiety inducing for the community, but I also hope that DACA recipients and others living in our community see the response and see that the Sacramento community wants them here.
The Department of Homeland Security defends its actions, telling ABC10 in a statement Estrada Juarez received full due process and was previously issued a final order of removal from a judge in 1998 and was removed from the United States shortly after. She illegally re-entered the U.S., a felony, saying that the final order of removal was reinstated when she was arrested last week. Gallego says her advice to DACA recipients is to not go alone to their court appointments.
Go with a lawyer. That's a mistake my aunt.
Maria de Jesus Estrada Juarez sent us a statement reacting to the press conference, saying in part that she's overwhelmed by the support from the Sacramento community during what she calls a painful time. She says Sacramento is the only home she's ever known, where she raised her daughter and built her life. And she's holding on to hope that she'll soon return to her family. And according to Talamantes, she now has a lawyer in place. Chris, Laura.
We know this is a developing story. Roxanne, please keep us posted as you learn more.
DACA is an Obama-era policy from 2012 that allowed some young immigrants to request deferred action. It does not grant legal status, but offers a 2-year protection from deportation that is subject to renewal. People approved could also apply for work authorization. While DACA recipients can renew their status, new DACA applications are not accepted.
According to Immigration Services, there were more than 500,000 active DACA recipients as of June of last year. Almost a quarter of them live here in California, just under 145,000 people. Texas has the second largest total with just over 86,000 recipients. We have reached out to Immigration Services for updated numbers, and we're now waiting to hear back.
New tonight, the San Francisco Board of Supervisors unanimously approved legislation preventing federal immigration enforcement operations on city property. San Francisco is already a sanctuary city, meaning local law enforcement does not assist with federal immigration enforcement. But that status doesn't stop federal agencies like ICE from operating in the city and making arrests. The newly approved ICE-free zones ordinance bars any entity from conducting immigration enforcement activities on public property if those actions disrupt city operations or services. The measure also authorizes the San Francisco City Attorney's Office to take legal action over unauthorized use of city property. Tonight, Democratic leaders nationwide and here in California say they're concerned President Trump is trying to take over federal elections.
And tomorrow, Democratic state senators are expected to discuss a bill tackling federal overreach and election intimidation. The president has recently called for the nationalization of elections and is now pushing Congress to pass the SAVE Act. It would require proof of citizenship, like a passport or birth certificate, for voter registration in federal elections, and photo IDs to vote in person. It would also order states to take new steps to remove non-citizens from the voter rolls.
The president has tried to take control of elections, spread misinformation, and threatened folks working to keep elections secure.
Tonight, state leaders are emphasizing the president has no power over elections and states hold that authority. As for California's response to this, we will have the full story tonight at 6.
And developing news in Cuba tonight, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is trying to verify facts and will brief lawmakers after a deadly shooting near the Cuban coast.
We have our embassy on the ground in Havana working this as we speak, asking for access to the people that were on those vessels, if they were American citizens or permanent residents.
Officials say 4 people are dead and 6 others are hurt after a U.S. registered speedboat opened fire on a vessel off the coast of Cuba. Again, the Secretary of State says he's trying to verify the facts.
The first plaintiff to take social media companies to trial was on stand today in L.A., alleging that tech platforms harmed her mental health as a child. The social media companies deny the allegations, saying they have guardrails in place to protect young users. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has the details tonight.
I stand here on behalf of my generation.
Dozens of parents, youth leaders, and online safety advocates today demanding change when it comes to children and social media platforms.
These products were launched to us without guardrails, without education, without warning to any parents. They entered our homes quietly, catching families completely unprepared. We became the testing ground, and so did our children.
They spoke outside a Los Angeles courthouse where a landmark trial is unfolding that alleges major social media platforms were intentionally designed to be addictive for children and teens. Meta, Facebook and Instagram's parent company, and YouTube, which is owned by Google, both named as defendants and deny the allegations. They've argued other factors contribute to the mental health of young users and that they have added things like parental controls to protect them. TikTok and Snapchat were also named in the lawsuit, but settled without admitting wrongdoing.
We need safety by design. These platforms should not be every day trying to, make new safety precautions for kids. It's Band-Aid, as I said before, they don't work. We need comprehensive, safety design, and if that's forced through legislation, that's the way it should have to be.
The 20-year-old plaintiff, identified as KMG, expected to testify in court today. She claims she started using social media at age 6, became addicted to the app's features, which led to depression, anxiety, and body image issues. During opening statements, lawyers for Meta and Google claiming her depression and mental health condition were the result of family dynamics, not social media addiction. Plaintiffs allege the companies Meta and Google knowingly built features that encouraged compulsive use among young users and led to long-term mental harm. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg testifying last week, defending Instagram's restrictions that ban users under 13, saying, "I always wish we could have gotten there sooner." And when pressed about an internal email appearing to show goals to boost the time spent on apps by 12%, Zuckerberg saying, "We changed that." Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Coming up, the latest information after a man allegedly ran over a children's baseball team in a Safeway parking lot on purpose.
Plus, a community rallying to call out the governor's budget proposal, which eliminates millions of dollars in Medi-Cal dental funding for kids.
Tracking a warmer forecast, a very spring-like feel ahead as we enter into March.
The case against a man accused of driving into a youth baseball fundraiser outside a Truckee Safeway is now on pause. The Nevada County District Attorney's Office said 49-year-old Jonathan Marrer appeared in court for a plea tied to the February 7th attack. He faces 8 counts of attempted murder, multiple counts of assault with a deadly weapon, and several sentencing enhancements. The court declared a doubt about his competency, so for now, criminal proceedings have been suspended while he undergoes a court-ordered competency evaluation. Marrer remains in custody. Prosecutors say they will continue to support the victims and their families as the case moves through the process.
Well, turning now to weather, officials in the Northeast are working around the clock to try and restore power.
Yeah, it all comes in the aftermath of this week's historic bomb cyclone blizzard.
Thousands in the region were still without power Tuesday amid freezing temperatures. The majority of those outages were in Massachusetts. A utility company official says it could take days to get the lights back on for some. The Mid-Atlantic and New England is now digging out from extreme, record-breaking snowfall, more than 2 feet in some states.
The massive storm snarled travel, making icy roads and treacherous conditions and affecting other modes of travel as well, including rail service. And there was a major impact on air travel, with more than 10,000 U.S. flights canceled from Sunday to Tuesday. Yesterday alone saw more than 2,000 cancellations.
We do have some good news here in Northern California. PG&E says they have now restored power to 99% of customers in the Sierra Division after that major storm last week. But some customers are still in the dark tonight. PG&E is trying to get power back for more than 1,800 customers in Amador County and more than 3,000 customers in Calaveras County. So let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods now. The good news is folks will get some relief, right? We're not looking at any more rain and snow in the immediate future.
Right. It does sound like a lot of relief because the past few days had been extremely cold, especially for those without power.
Right. Yeah, at least we're starting to see some of those warming conditions. That's going to help melt the snow and at least give access. Remember last week we were talking, they couldn't even get up there to try to restore some of the power. So hopefully with some of the warmer and spring-like temperatures, that will start to ease some of the pressure to get that power on. Morning fog is what we're going to start off with tomorrow. But again, spring-like temperatures ahead. I am going to be tracking some showers this weekend. It's not going to be widespread. It's not going to be anything major. With that in mind, though, we still had the delayed response of all that snow melt that's still working its way through the system. A couple of flood alerts to let you know about. This is going to be on the north end of the Sacramento River flooding ongoing and over towards the coast as well. We've got some river rises still that we're going to be checking on and some low-lying flooding, especially on the very north end of the Sacramento River. As we move a little bit closer to the downtown region, Colusa, Tisdale, and Fremont, where they're all going to be at monitor stage. This is all because we put a lot of rain on top of feet of snow. Blue Canyon, 3.5 inches of rain, nearly 3 inches for Nevada City, 2.5 for Soda Springs. As we headed into the valley, a little lighter amounts, about 1/10 of an inch or so to about 1/2 an inch for El Dorado, Roseville, Sacramento, and Elk Grove. Marysville, though, we almost got to about 1 inch of rain from that system that we dealt with yesterday. Love to see just the wave clouds there on the front range of the Sierra as we start to have that more stable air working its way in. Lots of cloud cover, though, to take us through this Wednesday. Highs, though, despite the clouds, still made it into the 60s and low 70s down low, near 50 for the Sierra and 50s and 60s for the foothills. So again, ongoing snow melt continues at this hour. Temperatures are still in the 60s throughout the valley, including Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto. We're at 70, Marysville 66, and Tahoe currently 48 degrees. We still have until 5:55 to get to that sunset. Oh, it would be great if we could light that beam again for tonight. 62 degrees for that light the beam forecast. Still have about 70% cloud cover, though. Tonight, we're going to continue with the clouds and pick up that fog. We've got calm winds, and on the back edge of that weather system that moved through, the ground still fairly saturated. We didn't see a whole lot of sunshine to dry things out for today. About 1/2 mile visibility potentially in the valley for tomorrow and towards the Delta. Just keep that in mind for that morning commute. We'll start to clear things out for the day, but we'll keep with the cloud cover. Under the ridge of high pressure is still kind of a dirty ridge, if you will. So cloud cover kind of sneaking its way in. Chance of showers for the high country on Sunday, as well as the north end of the valley. Not a ton of accumulation, but just something that could potentially add to more snow melt. Highs are going to be in the 50s for the Sierra tomorrow, 60s and 70s for much of the foothills. We're in the 70s across the coast, so a warm Thursday. Given that our average high is still in the low to mid 60s this time of year, this is going to put us about 5 degrees above average, in some places closer to 10 degrees above average. So again, it's basically elevation, rain and snow that we're looking at with the incoming system. That ridge just really keeping us largely dry in the forecast, with highs next week for the first week of March. We're in the 70s.
And then, Monica, we're going to be looking to spring forward as well here pretty soon.
There you go, next weekend, yes.
And then the official start of spring.
Yeah.
We'll just keep adding.
Someone's excited us.
Yes, can you tell?
Yeah, I know.
Monica, thank you. Today, elected officials, community leaders, families, and dentists came together for the Hands Off Kids health rally at the state capitol. They are calling out Governor Gavin Newsom's budget proposal that would eliminate an estimated $144 million in Medi-Cal dental funding for kids.
The cuts to funding for the care that they need will result in them not getting this care. These kids have, you know, so much pain that they can't sleep, you know, they can't eat, and they have trouble focusing in school. And so we may remove that care for them, and they simply won't get taken care of.
According to the Hands Off Kids Health Coalition, California already ranks among the worst states for pediatric dental disease.
Well, next at 5:30, the changes coming this year for the California housing market and what it could mean for you.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, a state program aimed at helping first-time home buyers is back. Just this week, the California Dream for All program reopened its application period. It's one of several tools and tactics to help first-time home buyers afford a home. It's no secret, housing in California is expensive. One way to help more people attain home ownership is California's Dream for All program. It reopened its application window this year from February 24th to March 16th. The program allows qualifying people to borrow a 20% down payment from the state to buy their first home.
If there's a chance you qualify for it, I think that's a great opportunity for first-time buyers.
How can first-time home buyers best position themselves to get the house of their dreams, the house that they can afford that fits their budget?
You have to have a strong pre-approval.
He says getting pre-approved for a home loan is relatively simple. Most loan applications can be done online. He says you would typically upload documents like pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, and tax returns. Then you'll speak with a lender to discuss your budget and what loans you qualify for.
You want to know before you start shopping how much your payment's going to be, how much cash you're going to need. just so you're looking at homes that fit your budget.
Working with an experienced real estate agent can also help you find the right property that fits your needs as well as your budget. Otto reminds buyers to be open-minded and be ready for potential sacrifice or compromise. And just because you qualify for a certain loan amount doesn't necessarily mean that amount is right for you.
Just because I can approve someone for $1 million house, they may only be comfortable with a $600,000 house because that payment fits their budget. So it's not about how much you can qualify for. It's about, let's find you a home with a payment that you can afford.
I take a deeper dive in the California Dream for All program in a previous Dollars and Cents. You can find that information and watch that story on our website and streaming on the free ABC10 app. Email me your money questions at lpainter@abc10.com.
Well, coming up, it's a story of loss and hope. The famous Big Bear Eagles are expecting. More on that next.
Coming up new tonight on the news at 6. AI is driving up electricity demand, and President Trump says tech giants should pay the bill. Coming up at 6, what's being negotiated with companies and how this could work.
But first, two popular bald eagles, Jackie and Shadow, they suffered a loss after their 2 eggs were destroyed by ravens.
But today marks a new beginning and hope as the pair lays their 3rd egg of the season. Take a look. We want to show you a live look at the Big Bear Valley Nest camera. Thousands of people witnessed Jackie fluff up before revealing the brand new egg. The world has previously watched as Jackie and Shadow raised 2 eaglets, Gizmo and Sunny, last year. They had the best view in the house. I tell you what, I love that.
I know, it looks very comfy too, huh? Yeah. Thanks for joining us right here on the ABC10 app.